Real Madrid's average age is currently 27 years old. That seems really high, but don't let that distract you from the fact that most of the top performers this season are mostly under 25. The players who raised the average are Roselu, with 34 years of age, Endrick, with 38 years of age, and Kroos, with 34 years of age, who will be replaced by their younger replacements in the upcoming years. The reason Real still have these players in the squad is that the youngsters can learn from them and that they are still performing decent on a regular basis. But in the upcoming years, the players mentioned above will drop out of the squad and will be replaced. To give you some examples, the best performing players are Rodrygo, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, Camavinga, Valverde, Tchouaméni, and currently Lunin, after the ACL injury from Courtois. All of these players are under 26 and replaced their predecessors, while them being in the squad at the same time. The difference between Real and other teams making an upheaval is that Real keeps the older players in the squad instead of selling them as soon as possible. The Los Blancos are a team who is constantly looking for youngsters to get into the team. They try to buy them as soon and as young as possible, so they are cheaper, even if they not fit into the first squad at first, but they will try to develop them into superstars in the Real Madrid Castilla, the second team from Real. Also, they scout in way weaker leagues and mostly outside of Europe, so they are not in a buying competition against other top clubs. The best examples here are Rodrygo and Vinicius, both bought from the Campeonato Brasileiro Serie A, the first division in Brazil, and both at 18 years old for a combined price of 90 million euros. They are now worth 250 million euros combined. Another example is Camavinga, who they bought for 30 million at 19 years old from Stade Rennes in France, who is now one of the best midfield prospects in the world and now has a market value of 90 million. A good example for a player who developed into a superstar in the Real Madrid Castilla is Valverde, who they got from Penjarol, a team in the Primera División Apertura, the first division in Uruguay, for just 5 million euros at just 18 years old. Now he is a superstar at the Los Blancos with a market value of 100 million. Well, if there are good examples, there will also be bad ones. Rainier is a famous instance, where a Brazilian talent, bought from Real, couldn't really establish himself in Europe. Also, the loan deals to Borussia Dortmund, Girona, and Frosinone didn't work out great. After looking into the past, let's see how Real might end up playing in the future. Let's have a look at which players and coaches are currently on Real's shortlist, and let's predict how the Los Blancos will position themselves. A transfer, which is already done for the next season, is another Brazilian talent. You might know him. His name is Endrick. The 17-year-old youngster was bought to fill out the empty striker position after Benzema's departure in the previous transfer window. He scored 14 goals and assisted once in 51 games at just 16 years of age. Also, a transfer which will likely happen is Mbappe to Real Madrid. The French, whose dream it always was to wear the jersey from the Los Blancos, will finally join in the summer as a free transfer from PSG. He will bring a lot more tactical flexibility into the team and will be their first striker option in front of Endrick. He can also play as a left winger, so Vinicius might be forced to play on the right. If we have a look at the team now, we see some position left to fill out with either young prospects or experienced players. These positions are obviously the back four, with Rudiger, Alaba, Cavral being above 30 years of age, and Mendy, who just isn't as good as he used to be. But Real also saw this bottleneck and will likely bring in some new players for these positions. For the left back, the most suitable option would be the 23-year-old Canadian Alphonso Davies from Bayern. On the right, as a replacement for Cavral, they might bring in another former Bayer Leverkusen player in Jeremy Frimpong, who just won the Bundesliga with Leverkusen and who is on a 45-game unbeaten streak with them. Other than him, I see Geertruida from Feyenoord as another good option as successor of Cavral. For the central defenders, they are highly interested in the 18-year-old Lenny Yoro from LOSC Lille. He will likely partner up with Militao in the future. With the career ending of Kroos and Endrick in the near future, they will need to bring in two more midfielders. The best suiting options would be the 19-year-old Portuguese, João Neves from Benfica, and the more experienced Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. They both would complement the future Real Madrid midfield perfectly, with Camavinga, Bellingham, Tchouaméni, and Valverde as their partners. But there is one position left to fill out, and it's the most important one. Who will be Real's new coach in the future? Ancelotti has a contract until June 2026, after he will likely retire from his coaching career. But who is good enough to get the best out of all the young superstars? In my opinion, the perfect fit would either be Ruben Amorim from Sporting, who will likely join Liverpool this summer, or even better, XABI Alonso. The Leverkusen coach currently also has a contract until June 2026, and after he stays at least one more year in Germany, he might also fulfill his contract to join the Giants in 2026. He will implement a completely different playstyle, with a back three and two wingbacks, instead of Real's normally used formation with a back four. He then will likely bring Florian Wirtz and Frimpong with him. Let's finally have a look at Real's future formation. Alonso mostly plays a 3-4-2-1. We have Courtois or Lunin in goal, the back three consisting of Alaba, Militao, and Euro, the left wing back being Davies and the right wing back being either Frimpong or Geertruida. In the midfield, we have Camavinga and Valverde in the midfield, Bellingham and Vinicius in the offensive midfield, and Mbappe in the striking position. Of course, Alonso is able to play multiple formations, even with a back four, but I took his most used formation at his stint at Bayer Leverkusen. What do you think about Real's big upheaval? Are they doing it the best way possible, or do you think otherwise? Which players do you think will join Real in the future? And which coach suit best to Real's philosophy? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.